Okay, good evening everyone. Today is the first day of our Android application development class, and as we told you that we will be trying to cover as much as basics as possible. And as today is the first day, we'll start with first of all a very. I'll first of all today try to give you a very clear picture regarding why you should choose Android Studio and Android application development. Okay, so let's get started, guys. Okay, so we are in our class. What we will be doing is we will be using Android application development. Just a second, guys. Let me switch on my one more software. I just missed. Okay, guys. Now we will start. So as you can see here, so today first of all we'll try to understand that why really Android application is really very important. So if you focus here well, today in our class we will just have a very clear picture that how Android application development can be very helpful to you all. Okay. So before starting, let's first of all understand that what kind of smartphone applications are available in the market. Okay, so you might not be aware of all of them. So I'll just have a look here. Generally in the market, you might have heard about two very famous one. That is, one is Apple. I hope yes, and one more, which one is the best one? That is your Android. I hope you're getting my point, guys. So the best Android application, two application development which you might have heard is, first one is your Apple and the second one is Android. You also might have heard about Windows application. Okay, but there are some more. I mean, if you look here carefully, there are many more platforms where we can go for application development. Okay, but all of them are not that much famous. Okay, so if you are looking very carefully, we will see that in many cases there were many comparisons also made, and it was observed that the market is captured by Android phones. Okay, so it is best that we should start with Android application development, because as there is a big market here, so the number of developers required will be also more here. Okay, so that is one reason why we are choosing Android application development. Okay, later on you can choose your second option as iOS application developer. Okay, so these two are very famous these days. These two developers are very famous, and in Android application development you will get job also very easily. Okay, the only important thing is you start developing good apps. Okay, so let's understand what really Android is. Okay, so all of you might be having little bit idea, but I'll give you a very clear idea regarding what Android is. Okay, so Android is first of all a Linux-based operating system. Okay, so everyone might be aware of what you mean by operating system. Okay, so this Android is basically Linux-based operating system, and it was designed primarily for the touch screen based devices. Okay, so generally touch screen based mobile. Okay, so this is the main concept. Okay, in the earlier versions it was found that They tried with other OS also, but they have chosen Android with one very important reason, because you might be knowing that Linux is a open source software. Okay, open source. So because of the open source nature, the Android OS was made from the Linux OS. Okay, this one is a very important reason. And this was all done during around year 2005. Okay, so in year 2005, uh, this Android application development was in a very, you can say, booming stage. So at that time, these people were making this Android OS, and that time the Apple OS was already available. Okay, so this Android OS was getting developed at that time. Okay, so what happened? It was actually not the part of Google that time. Okay, that time it was actually a company called Android Incorporation. A company was there that was called Android Incorporation. So under this company, the Android OS was getting developed. Later on, this company was purchased by Google. Okay, and then it became the part of Google. So this all happened in 2005. Later on, what happened, one very important alliance was made, that was called Open Handset Alliance. So this alliance, you can say, made a very a good impact in the field of smartphone company. Okay, because with the help of this alliance, what happened, many companies started joining, and more than 100 companies joined this alliance. And because of this also, you can say, this is also one of the reasons why Android application, or you can say Android OS, became very important or very famous. Okay, this is the two reasons. We'll move forward a little bit, and let's also understand some more details regarding this. So if you look why Android, then there are many reasons. Okay, that the first and the foremost reason is it is developed from an open source platform. So you all might be knowing the meaning of open source. The meaning of open source is all the code, okay, even the code of OS is available. Okay, even the code of Android OS is also available. You can make changes in that. Okay, so that is the meaning of open source. Second thing is, the Android community of developers is very rich. Why? The one of the reason is, the Android development started with the programming language called Java, and already the Java platform was used by a very big community. So as Android application was also with the help of Java only, so that complete community shifted from Java to Android, and that's why from the starting only the developer community of Android also was very big. The third is increased marketing. If you look carefully, nowadays, if you look carefully, there are many smartphones which are using Android OS. Yes or no? So the market of Android is also becoming very big. Next, if you look at this point, inter-app integration. This is one very important reason why Android is becoming famous. That is, there is a inter-app integration facility. Inter-app integration facility means, suppose I have one app and suppose I have one more app. So these apps, what it can be done, they can integrate with each other and then perform the job. Okay, that I will clarify after some time later on, that what is the actual meaning of inter-app integration. Next, the one very important point because of which it became famous, that is reduced cost of development. The reason is, the OS is not paid, it is free. It's, I mean, you don't have to pay anything. Okay, the OS is not paid. Second reason is, you don't have to buy any special kind of hardware. See, if you look carefully, those who are becoming Android developer, they already are having what? They are already having some kind of laptop, because you know these days laptops are generally, everyone is having laptop. And if you again look carefully, everyone is having Android smartphone also. Yes or no? Maximum people who want to develop, who want to become Android developer, generally they are having these two things. That is, they are having laptop also, and they are having Android smartphone also. So the cost of development is reduced because you don't have to buy OS also, and you also, for developing the Android apps, whatever required is already that you are having. Okay, and because of this reason also, the success ratio of Android application development has increased. Why? Because the developers don't have to pay anything. Only what they have to use is their own mind, their own brain, nothing else. Use your brain. Everything required for development is available to you. And as you know, you don't have to pay anything for using brain. So almost, because of the reduced cost, the success ratio of Android application development has become very, very, you can say, I mean, it has become a very successful kind of, in comparison to that of other OS developers. Okay, and the next and the last important point is rich development environment. Rich development environment means, when you will start the Android application development, you will see there are varieties of options available, and using those options, what you can do, you can go for development of varieties of apps. Okay, so because of, again, the rich development environment, we are able to make it very, very famous. And there are many more reasons other than this also, but I will not put those points here. Okay, next, there are many versions, and you know one more thing, that if anything is famous, it will be having a lot of versions also, because more and more things can be added up, and the versions will keep on increasing. Okay, so from Android version 1.0, we have moved even to Android 9.0, and these days the latest one is your Android 10. This is the latest version. So these all things are not at all, I mean, you don't have to learn by heart and all. Okay, the only important thing is you have to just keep in mind this point, that is API level. Okay, so these are the versions which you can see here, the latest one, which is Android 10.0. Okay, so but these all are not the important points which we have to keep in mind. For Android application development, first thing which you have to keep in mind is that is API level. So this API level is, you can say, these are the version numbers for an Android developer. The version numbers for him to remember is this one. Okay, so basically what we will not be working on API number 29, because this is the latest one. We will be either working on API 21 or 23 or at 24 to 25. The reason is the biggest community of Android users generally fall in this category. Okay, and the most important point again here is, if you are developing app in these APIs, there is no problem. These apps will also work in these all versions also, and this will work on these all version also. Okay, and this is again one very important reason because of which Android is becoming famous. Okay, it means whichever version phone you are having, it doesn't mean, okay, I mean, if suppose you are having a version API 9 and 10 kind of smartphone. Okay, and if suppose I am as a developer, I am developing in API number 23, no issue. If you are developing here also, this smartphone which is having API 9, 10, they can run this app. Okay, this point should be clear to everyone. Okay, so I will have a repeat for this point because you may have some confusion in this. The point which I said is, suppose this is Android user, okay, and this is Android developer. Keep in mind. So Android user can have smartphone which can have API from, you can say, if I say very in a real time basis. So generally everyone will be having versions from Lollipop TUI to QueenCake. Generally, if they are buying a smartphone, they will be having versions from, you can say, API, I mean 5 version to 10 version. Okay, so what I am trying to make you understand is they will be having the API levels 19 to 29. Okay, so suppose if a developer is developing in any one version, let it be version number 23, okay, API level 23, then there is no problem. This API version, if suppose any app is developed in this version, it can be executed in this API level also. It can be executed in this API level also. Okay, there will not be any problem. And because of this reason also, the Android is famous. Okay, So I hope it's now clear to you all guys. If you have doubt, you keep on writing in the chat box. Okay. What I will try is I will try to answer if there is any question asked in the chat in the chat box. Okay. Now I'll move forward. Few students have doubts like why only Android application is only for smartphone or it is for something else also. So I will tell you guys the future of Android platform is very good because it is now jumping in these platforms also. Means in the laptop also you will find Android platform, in the netbook, in the smart TV, smart fridge, even in the car also in coming days you will find Android apps, Android OS. Okay. And if Android OS is present in these kind of devices, it means what? You have to develop the apps for them also. Are you getting my point? So the Android development in future is very good. Why? Because the Android OS is not only limited to smartphone. Okay. It is not only limited to smartphone. Okay. It is now getting used by TVs, smartwatch. Okay. Even in the automobile sector, this OS is getting implemented. Okay. And this is one reason you can say that the future market of Android OS is very bright. Okay. So even then the developers requirement will be more and more. Okay. So if you're good in development in smartphones, you can switch from smartphone to smart watch, or you can move to smart TV, or you can move to smart fridge. There are many options. Okay. So this is really a very good option, good you can say point, which can make you more confident that you should choose Android application development. Okay. So I will show you some more good apps which are very famous these days. That is, these are the coming apps like smart toothbrush. So this hardware which you are seeing here, it is connected with a app. So the way you are brushing, based on that, you will get the percentage that how clean your mouth is. So you can understand how innovative these kind of projects will be in future. Okay. So in this way, if I show you one more example, have a look, guys. Smart egg tray. So you might be thinking like, what innovation is there? So the innovation is this app which you are seeing here. This is actually an app which is in your smartphone. It will be connected with the egg tray. Okay, the egg tray which you are having. So what it will give you? It will give you two very good information. That is how many eggs are present, and suppose if any egg has become it's not good. I mean, it is not good for health. It can be automatically shown through this red mark. I hope you can see here this one. So these two eggs are bad eggs. So suppose you come to know that the egg is not good, so you will not eat it. So if you are not eating, you are making yourself healthier. Okay. So these kind of innovations is making Android market also very rich. Some more options are there like smart AC app. This you might have heard also. I'll not go in more details. Next, one more option I'll show you: smart garbage cans. I mean, even the garbage cans are nowadays getting connected with smartphone, so that it can become easy for the garbage collectors to decide when to collect the garbage. Okay. Smart door locks. Again, this is also very good innovative example where the door lock is connected with the smartphone. Okay. So these are really very innovative things which you will find in future, and these are just example. In future, you will find more and more good examples, and more. Maybe you all guys might be interested in making very good projects based on that. Okay. I'll tell you a small history also. In 2003, actually, Android Incorporation came into picture, and this team was taken by a few people from California, and they were Andy Rubin, Rick Miner, Nick Shears, and Chris White. So these are the four guys who started developing the Android OS. Keep in mind, they are not the Android app developers; they are Android OS developers. Okay, and in 2005, August 17, it was finally taken by Google. Okay, I'll move forward a little bit again. So guys, I'm not putting, I'm not giving a lot of explanation here because these are some very pre-explained things which you don't have to focus a lot. Now, this was the first smartphone from the company HTC Dream. It came in 2008. So you can understand from 2005 to 2008, the company was making Android smartphone, and then in 2008 they came up with the first smartphone, and that was also still containing some buttons. Okay, so you can say in 2008, from the journey of smartphones, or you can say journey of Android app development started in 2008. Okay, a small important information again. In 2000, you can see in 2008, and by the end of 2010, it became the world's leading smartphone platform company. Okay, so you can see, and still till date it is. Okay, so Android powered phone, if you read here, Android powered phone was first sold in October 2008, and from that time, by the end of 2010, Android became the world's leading smartphone company. So you can understand how famous it was. Okay, from 2010 only, and till date it is very, very famous. Okay, and a survey was done in 2018 that more than 2.6 million apps were available on Android Play Store. And if you count now, it is in billions. Okay, and the active users are more than billions. You can see here how many active users are there. So if there are active users are more in billions, you can understand how famous Android is. Okay, so that's why again you can say the Android developer will be something a proud thing. Yes or no? Now I'll go a bit slow now because we are moving towards the very important thing, that is the architecture of Android. And you can say the developers who were making Android OS, they were basically trying to develop this only. Okay, the architecture of Android. So this I will request everyone to listen very carefully. If you have doubt, you can ping me in the chat box. I will try to clarify the doubt here itself. Okay. So if you search also in on Google, this kind of diagram you will get if you try to search architecture of Android OS. Okay. So if you look here, the Android OS architecture is basically divided into how many sections? Can anyone tell me how many sections? Can you see? I will wait for the chat box for few of you guys. Can you say me? How many sections are there for the architecture of Android OS? Okay. You can see, some of you can see 4, someone can see 5, but if you look carefully, we have actually 5 sections. So one is this, 2, 3, 4. So these 4 are you can say the internal architecture, and one more, this also can be considered inside the architecture only, and I can say that 5 parts. Okay, so if you look carefully, these 5 architecture parts, the best will be we should start understanding from the lower part. Okay, so the most important of the complete architecture is the Linux kernel. Okay, this Linux kernel is the most important part. Why it is important? Because you can say this is the heart of the Android OS. Okay, not only this one, for any OS, the heart of the OS is kernel. Okay, the kernel is also called the heart of the OS. Why it is called heart? Can anyone tell me? Any student, can anyone tell me why the kernel is called the heart of any OS? Any student? I'll be happy to hear that. You can write in the chat box. My question is why the kernel of Linux or any OS, why the kernel is called the heart of the OS? I'll wait for 1 minute. If anyone has any answer, you can write in the chat box. Even though it is wrong, no problem. But give a try, guys. Why the kernel is called the heart of an OS? If you are not knowing, you can write no, I don't know. Then I can start the explanation. Okay, the Binky has written it's a interface between the application. Okay. That's not exactly correct, but I'll try to make you understand, because this part is really very important. See, actually, if you really want to understand why kernel is called the heart, you first of all look carefully. What is actually present here? Can you tell me what is the common word in every place? What is the common word everywhere? What is the common word present here? Correct, Siridi. That is driver. You can see everywhere. What is written? Driver. Why? Okay, now if you try to understand the meaning of driver, then what is the meaning of driver? The one who drives. So you can say the kernel is actually a group of softwares which is actually driving the complete OS. Okay, so you can understand the importance of a driver. If you can just understand the importance of driver, you can understand how important the kernel is. So kernel is actually containing a group of drivers. Okay, so what is the meaning of driver? In the context of OS, what is the meaning of driver? I will explain you. Listen very carefully. So what happens? Basically, what is the OS? Let's first of all understand what the meaning of OS. The OS is actually a manager. Okay, so what is OS? It is a manager. What it is actually managing? It is managing. It is managing what? Whatever kind of IO, means input output, is going inside the OS. It is managing that and displaying the results. Okay. So what is OS? OS is a kind of manager which interacts with the outer world through the IO devices. It processes that data and then generate the results. Okay, what I am trying to make you understand is, whenever any kind of information is coming to the OS is understanding that, and then it has to interact with a hardware also. Okay, so if I give you a again one more example, try to understand. So suppose I have a music. So what is music? It is a software. Yes or no? The music is what? It's a soft. It's something you can say it is a software. And this software, if you want to play, then you require what? You require a hardware. If I say in big terms, I can say I will require a hardware. Yes, guys. So a music has to be played by a hardware. So there should be some kind of software which should manage this software part, and it should be able to execute on this hardware part. Okay, and this software is actually called the driver. Okay, so what is actually the driver? The driver is a manager which helps the interaction between the software and hardware. You can better write down this point. What is driver actually? Driver is a software which manages or which is helping the interaction between the software and hardware. Okay, and what is kernel? It is the group of those drivers. I will repeat once more, guys. What is driver? The driver is actually what? The interacting medium. Okay, driver is what? It is the interacting medium which helps what? The software part and the hardware part to interact properly. Okay, and the group of these hardwares only is called kernel. Okay, so kernel is also sometimes called as a bridge between the software and hardware. Okay, the kernel is sometimes also called as the bridge between the software medium and the hardware medium, because it is containing all the driver section. And the guys who were developing Android OS, their main concern was developing these drivers only. Okay, so once the drivers are working very properly, you can start performing any kind of task. Okay, so this should be very clear to everyone. Okay, so this is a very important point which everyone should focus. Okay, now I'll move forward. So once you have understood that the kernel is basically a driver, and based on the requirement of the software, the a specific driver will be working. Like suppose if you are making a app where audio is required, okay, if suppose an audio is required, so which driver we will be requiring? We'll be requiring which driver? We'll be requiring the audio driver. Okay, getting my point, guys? So depending upon which kind of software you are planning, based on that we have sets of drivers available. Okay, so this should be very clear to everyone, and it's a very good thing that you don't have to interact directly with the drivers. Okay, and because of that only we have something called as libraries. Okay, so what is library actually? So you can say these are the predefined program which actually interacts with the drivers. So as a user or as a developer, you don't have to take tension whether which kind of driver I have to use. Okay, what basically you have to use, you have to directly call some kind of functions, and these functions will be available in some of the libraries, and these functions wherever is present, they will be internally talking with the Linux kernel, and you can say it will be directly talking to a driver. Okay, so you don't have to take any tension whether which driver I have to interact with. Okay, that is all taken care by the library. Okay, and this complete library is written in Java language. Some part is C part, but maximum it is written in Java language. So you can understand how popular it might have been, because you know there is, before Android there was a big community of Java developers. Okay, so from those developers only, you can say they started making the team and they developed the complete library which can interact with the Linux kernel. Okay, and once they made the complete library and kernel, they developed something where the developers can work, and that is referred as application framework. Okay, so this is again you can say the important part for a Android developer. So as you all are going to become Android developer, okay, so this is the important part for you guys. Okay, so keep in mind you only have to understand about the framework part. So here what we will be doing is we will try to understand few of the frameworks, not all of them, because for understanding all of them you at least require minimum of 45 days of class where I can make you understand all of them. Okay, so we will be choosing few of them, and we will be analyzing in detail everything possible, and we will see how this application framework is important for us. Okay, so whenever you are planning to develop an app, you have to choose any one of the framework. So this point should be clear to every student, that for Android development, an Android developer has to choose any one framework or two framework or three framework depending upon the project. Like suppose your project is requiring some kind of location, then you will be requiring location manager for that. Okay, suppose you want to connect some kind of phone call and all, then you will require telephony manager. Okay, so depending upon which kind of requirement your app is having, you will be choosing the framework. Okay, so please keep in mind you are not going to choose all the frameworks. Depending upon your app, the framework will be chosen. But one thing is very important here. What is that? That is which one is the common framework which will be used. Okay, because you might all be aware of that whenever you are making an app, or if you have seen apps, I am sure everyone has used Android phone, and you might have seen, suppose you are making your I'll give an example of, let it be Facebook. So what happens, the Facebook will be having a page where what you will be doing, you will first of all go for login, yes or no? So once login is done, you will be moving to some other page. Yes or no? Maybe your profile page. Okay. So from profile page, suppose you want to visit to your friend's page. So you again will be navigating you to your friend's profile page. So what I'm trying to make you understand is this kind of going from one page to other page is a very common phenomena in all the apps. Just confirm me guys, am I right or wrong? I will need in the chat box. this kind of phenomena. Yes, Siddhi, you are correct. Others, I would like to just ask you that this kind of phenomena have you observed or not? That you have to go from one page to other page while using an app. Yes or no? I hope yes. Yes, correct. So you should understand what is that manager who is managing this. So already you can see Mr. Siddhi has told that, and that is the correct answer. That is your activity manager. Okay. So activity manager is one framework which will be commonly used by every app. So what we will be doing is we will be focusing this manager. We will try to understand everything present here, and we will be, you can say, developing few first project based on this manager only. Okay, so you have to understand this manager first of all. And frankly speaking, guys, if you understand one manager, other managers understanding will be a bit easier to you, because other managers are also following some kind of similar pattern. Okay, they have all have a very similar kind of ideology. Okay, so the making managers also, they have taken one a very good theme, that is whenever any manager is being used, the manager has to be started. Okay, and once the use of the manager is done, that manager should be destroyed. Okay, so this unique concept you have to keep in mind. So what we will be doing is, we will be, while developing the apps, while doing the practical part, what we will be doing is we will be understanding the complete, you can say, the activity manager. Okay, and we will understand how it is really working. So once you are getting a very clear picture about this activity manager, you can understand other managers very easily. Okay, so we'll be focusing first of all on the activity manager. So you can see now that with the help of application framework, what we can do, we can actually develop the apps. Okay, so this is actually what the app section. Okay, and this section which you are seeing here is actually your runtime environment. Okay, so your Android application development is basically using a very unique kind of runtime environment, which I'll be explaining after one or two apps. Okay, so one thing you can keep in mind, whatever kind of runtime environment you will see, that will be actually based on Dalvik virtual machine. So if you have studied Java, you might be aware there is a virtual machine in Java also. What is that? Can anyone tell me? The virtual machine in Java, what is the name for that? Yeah, correct. CD. Okay, okay. So others, if you are not aware, please you can write down. So in Java, we have a virtual machine environment that is called JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Whereas in Android, that is called as Dalvik Virtual Machine. Okay, and this Dalvik Virtual Machine is internally having Java Virtual Machine. Okay, please keep this in mind. Okay. So till we are using Java as a programming language, the Dalvik virtual machine which we are using will be internally having which virtual machine, that is called Java virtual machine. Okay. So we will be not actually able to see these things, but you have to keep in mind that whenever we are running the projects, actually the Dalvik virtual machine is there, and internally Java virtual machine is also there, which is doing some job. Okay. So I hope you got a very, some basic idea regarding the architecture of an Android. I hope so. So, and you might also got a picture that why this we have to focus on the application framework. Okay, we don't have to focus on this part. Why I told you, and you might have also understood what is the importance of these parts. Okay. Now coming to the next part. Still, if suppose you have some doubt in this architecture part, you can ask. You can put in the chat box. I will try to clarify. Now let's move to the Android Studio and let's see what really is present in the Android Studio. I hope you all might have got the link for Android application development. One YouTube link I had shared, where using which you can install Android Studio. So can you all guys confirm me that how many of you have installed Android Studio? Okay, Sirdi has installed. What about others? Okay, Dinky has also installed. Other students, please confirm me whether you have installed Android Studio or not. Because if you have not installed, then the problem will be that if I am doing something, you will not be able to practically do it. Okay, so have you got the link for installing the Android Studio? Please confirm me. So, G Simanchalam, I hope you can install that by yourself. Have you tried that installation? Okay, okay. So I request everyone, all the students, those who have not installed, that quickly today itself you use that YouTube link, that video, you watch the video properly and you install it today itself. Okay, and make sure that in the tomorrow's class you should be coming with the installed Android Studio, because otherwise the problem will be that whatever I'll be teaching, you will not be able to practice it. Okay, but suppose if you're having issues, we will be giving these videos also. Okay, so that you can use it for future purpose. Okay, but please guys, in the next class come with the installed Android Studio. Okay, we'll move forward a little bit and I'll just show you. So if you look here, I'm just giving a glimpse of the internal of the Android Studio. Like when you will be installing Android Studio, what you will be seeing. Okay, so you can see I have marked the complete software with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes or no? So if you look carefully, the sections which you are seeing here, these sections have uh, some names. Okay, so if you look at first of all, we'll first of all, I request everyone to write all the names. Then I'll come and explain you. Okay, so if you look here, so these all sections are actually divided into 6 sections. The first one is your toolbar section. I first of all request everyone to write down the names. Then I'll come back to the Android software and I'll explain you here. So the names are the toolbar section, the navigation bar section, the editor window, the tool window bar, the tool windows, and the status bar. Okay, so these are the 6 sections in which the complete Android Studio is available. So I request every student to write down these names: the toolbar window, the toolbar, the navigation bar, the editor window, the tool window bar, the tool windows, and the status bar. Okay, so we'll try to understand all of them and what they are actually made for. Just a second, guys. So I request everyone to quickly write down these names. Once you have done, quickly confirm me. I'll move forward. So these sections are really very, very important. So I hope you have written. Just some of you just confirm me whether you have written or not. I'm giving you 1 minute time. You can write down. Yeah, okay. So I'll repeat once more: the toolbar, navigation bar, editor, tool window, tool windows, tool window bar. See, it is tool window bar and tool windows. Okay, and then the status bar. Okay. So we will one by one we'll see. Okay. So if you look at this part, I'll just erase and then show you. So if you look at this part, okay, so that is what your tool Here you will find all your tools. Okay, we'll see. Like suppose if you click this one, you are able to save. If you click on this one, you will be actually running your Android project. Okay, suppose your Android project is running and you want to stop it, you can click on this button. Okay, so this is actually your toolbar where all the tools will be available. Okay, and this is your navigation one. So here you can see where the files are coming. I mean the complete path you can see, path. Okay, so where your file is, all the complete path will be visible to you here. Whichever file you will open here, whichever file, the third section that is called editor section, whichever file you will open in the editor section, those all files, the path will be coming in the second part. Okay, so here you can see I have opened a Java file, main activity.java file. You can see here. So for that, what is the location? So the location can be shown here. Okay, so that is the importance of the navigation bar. Okay, now you can see all the tools are present here as a bar here. So if you click, you can see this one is a highlighted one. So if I want to see structure, if I click at this part, I will be able to see the structure section. Okay, similarly all other parts are there. Okay, and next, here you can see all the tools. Okay, so whichever you are clicking, you can see the debugger is present here. I can debug and see the output. The console window is present here, so you can see this one is highlighted here. Here is your console window. Okay, so using this, what you can do, you can come to the console part and you can write some commands also here. Okay, and the last one is your status. You can see here at this part. Okay, so whenever you are I mean, see why I am telling you these all, because frequently I will be using the terms. I will say look in the navigation bar and see the path. Go to the, I will say go to the toolbar and click on this button. Okay, so you have to understand from the terms. Okay, this is really important. I will say look at the status. Look at the status, what is going on. So you have to look at this section and see that what is going on actually. Okay, this is really very, very important. So these sections should be very, very clear, and I hope you have understood the importance of these sections. So if you just have a reading also, then you will understand. Okay, so if I move to the navigation bar, if you read here, what is this? It helps you to navigate through your project and open the files for editing. Okay, so what you can do, you can navigate properly with the help of navigation bar. Okay, in the editor window, here this is actually where we will modify the code. Okay, so if you want to write some kind of coding and all, here we can create as well as modify the code. Okay, so this part is really very, very important, and we will be spending a lot of time in the editor window only. Okay, so this toolbar window bar, tool window bar, we won't be using a lot, but generally you have, for understanding purpose, you have to keep in mind. Okay, so and the status bar is really very, very important, because what will happen if I will say you that look at run your project. So when you are running your project, you will be feeling that why the result is not coming. So if you will be looking at your status bar, what you will observe, still the project is in the running phase. Okay, you will be getting a feeling that still my project is running. Okay, why I am saying, because what I have seen, few students get what they will feel that their project has been executed and why I'm not getting the output. So what you will observe in the status bar part, still you will see the project is in the running condition. So don't get confused. If you feel that your project is actually completed, that will be visualized in the status bar. Okay, so that for that the status bar is really very, very important. Okay, now I'll move forward, and let's directly now move to the practical part. And I have already opened the Android Studio, and I'll show you. Just a second, guys. So I'll now switch off this PPT, and let's move to the Android. Okay, now if you look here, okay, so this here you can see my Android Studio. For time being, what I will do, I will just close this one, and before closing I can just show you everything here. So guys, if you look, if you can see here, can you see the navigation bar? Guys, can you see the navigation bar? Just confirm me, where is the navigation bar? So if you look here, guys, so here you can see this is your editor. This is your editor, okay? And I have opened a Java file here, okay? And here you can see this is your actually your status one, okay? So you can see it's written here, installed successfully, finished and all. So guys, in the next class, what I want is everyone should be aware, everyone should be ready with this one, okay? I mean, your Android Studio should be installed. So if your Android Studio is not installed, then it will be difficult for me to make you understand each and everything, okay? So once you have installed, what you will be doing is you will be getting a main activity page here and an XML file here, okay? So if you look here, you will be getting an XML file. So if you are able to see, then just confirm me that are you able to see the XML file here? Just confirm me, guys. I hope this XML file is visible to everyone. Just a second, guys. And try to have a, I mean, see, this requires a lot of RAM. So try to, I mean, switch off all the softwares. Don't, I mean, open all the softwares. And if everything is working properly, if you open your XML file and if you try to zoom here, you will be able to see a message, hello world here, okay? So if you are able to see in this way, the way it is visible to you, it will be confirmed that your Android Studio is in a working condition. Okay, guys. So I request everyone that in the next class, kindly just be ready with this platform so that we can start developing the apps. Okay. So till here, if anyone is having any doubt, kindly confirm me. Kindly ask if you have any doubt. I request all of you, if you don't have any doubt, then you can write no doubt so that I can get confirmation that you have understood what I tried to make you understand. Okay, okay. Others, I would like to get the information whether you have understood or not. Okay. So I'm getting no doubt from everyone.
This conference will now be recorded.
So as maximum students have not installed, so in the next class, what I will do, I'll take some extra time also. Don't worry about that. So please, in the next class, be ready with your Android Studio. And what we will be doing is we will be understanding, first of all, the most important section here again, that is the internal part of the Android Studio. Okay, this part. Okay, this part is the most important part from where we will start the class. Okay, so this should be very, very clear. Okay, we have to understand where we have to write the backend code, where we have to write the front end code, what will be happening, and all in details we will be discussing these things. Okay, so this is the next agenda of the class, where I'll be explaining you everything in detail, that how really an Android app is made actually. Okay, so I'll start from the very starting point, and we'll try to do 2 to 3 projects tomorrow. So please, guys, I'll be going a little bit fast also. So I request everyone to be ready with your Android Studio. So thank you thank you everyone for listening carefully, and I hope everyone has got the basic ideas that why really Android application development is important for you. Yes or no, guys? Okay, so I hope, yeah, okay, thank you guys for responding. In the next class, we will again start with the same thing. And I'll directly start with the Android Studio, and we'll start directly jump inside application development. Okay. One more thing which I request you all, that you have to also install the smart, I mean, see, for running the projects, we have a lot of options. So the one option is you can install this Android smartphone in your laptop. Okay, if you have less RAM, then please don't install. If you have less RAM, then please don't install. You can run your project directly in your smartphone. Okay, so be ready with either Android Studio. I mean, be ready with this one. Or suppose if you are not able to install this smartphone, this virtual smartphone, then please be ready with your Android, your smartphone as well as your data cable. Okay, these two are important things which you have to keep in mind. So thank you everyone for listening carefully. So okay, now I'm signing off. Thank you everyone.